Thank you, Kristen. I'm now pleased to introduce our student speaker. Our student speaker today is Kwaku Gyabaah. Kwaku is one of our Executive MBA graduates who auditioned among students across all the academic programs to be the Merage School student speaker representing the entire class of 2016. The judging was based on a number of factors, and Kwaku, like all of the applicants, is a shining example of the student population that we're proud to have in the Merage School. I know, congratulations to everybody who was considered, but we could only have one. A little bit about Kwaku. He was born in Ghana, West Africa, and apparently we have a few Ghanaians here today. Welcome. Yeah, there you go. I heard that he was going to bring a cheering squad from home, and that's awesome. He earned his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Howard University in Washington, D.C., and upon graduation, well, we're going to shout out for Howard, too. There you go. All right. We got some D.C. folks. Kwaku began work for Clark Construction, one of the nation's largest general contractors. He currently works there as the Director of Purchasing and Community Engagement for Clark's nearly $2 billion Western region. Clark's projects include LA Live at the Nokia Theater, Petco Park, the LA Forum renovation, and one of the rides at Disneyland. Okay. One of his proudest accomplishments in his leadership of the successful expansion of Clark's renowned subcontractor development strategic partnership program. That's a mouthful. Specifically, it's designed to increase the capabilities and capacity of small business owners in the construction industry, many of which are women, veterans, and minorities who have traditionally been underrepresented in the construction industry. So he's having a big impact in that way. Here at UCI, Kwaku is active with the Center for Real Estate and a member of the Merage Real Estate Association. There's a lot more about Kwaku and his story on the Merage website, and I encourage you to take a look at that when you get an opportunity. So with that, I'm going to ask you to welcome Kwaku.
Thank you, Dean Spangenberg, and good afternoon to the faculty, administration, guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2016. I would like to sincerely congratulate each and every one of you and ask that you give a thundering round of applause to those family members, friends, loved ones, and companies whose support made this day possible. I would personally like to thank my cheering section, many of which flew in all the way from Ghana, and especially my wife, who along with my children are the reason I'm able to be before you today. Thanks. See, in the midst of the excitement of a day like today, it's important that we take a step back and recognize that by graduating from the Merage School here at UCI, we are graduating from one of the top 50 business schools in the world. What an awesome opportunity, but also an incredible responsibility. And it's the intersection of that opportunity and responsibility that we'll talk about today. It's what I've coined as the high calling of the business person. No, I didn't say the high rolling of the business person. No, that's what many of you may have in mind now that you almost have this world-class degree in hand, but rather the high calling of the business person. The foundation of this high calling is the acknowledgement that by graduating from Merage, we have been given much. And to whom much is given, much is required. Think back to the quality of the education you've received, as well as the depth of the relationships that have been developed during our time here at Merage. Think back to unique experiences such as the international residential trip, where many of us experienced life and culture in countries we had never visited. On my particular residential trip, we not only visited Thailand, but represented UCI as one of the first schools in the country to visit Myanmar. A couple of the companies that we encountered and met with in Myanmar embodied the high calling of the business person. The garment manufacturer that wasn't there to simply take advantage of a low-wage workforce, but saw it as their responsibility to provide a clean and safe working environment, access to health care, and to teach life skills that could last for a lifetime. The telecommunications company that, upon their first shipment into the country, when confronted to pay a bribe, not only refused to do so and had their goods delayed, but by the time they eventually received their goods, had set a tone for how they would conduct business in that country from that time forward. When we take a look at these decisions made by these business leaders, we must recognize they did not do this to make news or become in some publication about how great their corporate social responsibility worked. They took these actions because they sincerely believed there was a lasting mutual benefit to developing people and operating ethically, and they were willing to stake both resource and reputation to do so. My fellow graduates, as we reflect on the decisions of these business leaders, there are a few important questions we should ask ourselves. How will I exemplify this high calling throughout my life and business career? How can I turn the very real challenges that we all will face into real opportunities to make an impact in the lives of others? How can I do well for myself by doing good for others? My fellow graduates, it's the answers to these questions, along with the confidence and relationships developed during our time here at Merage, where we will find the power to press on toward our highest callings as business leaders. In closing, I'm actually going to ask that we take a moment of silence. A moment of silence to commemorate our former way of thinking prior to our Merage experience, followed by a rousing round of applause for the new perspectives gained during our time together at this great institution. Thank you, God bless you, and Zot, Zot, Zot.
Kwaku, thank you. Thank you, Kwaku. And I know I join everyone in here in wishing you a successful future, both professionally and personally. And it was inspirational. We appreciate that. And I know you represent just the kind of quality of all of these graduates here today.
Kwaku Gyabaah.
Daniel Bradaway.
Chris Yarbrough.